Hi. Welcome back to my channel, Maggie Kironde's channel. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Excited to be here again. I'm passionate about this topic. And please put in the comments below if you want me to talk about anything else. I mean, if I don't know it, I'll take the time to research and get back to you guys with another video. Okay, so today I wanted to kind of touch base on the kids who are in third year of high school, which is the junior year. I used to think that, the senior year is like the really most important year of high school, but actually maybe not, because the junior year, I realized there's a lot of things that our kids do or need to do that colleges are looking at. I mean, this is for this information is for kids and parents that are planning to take the traditional route, to college, a 4-year college, a 2-year college. And down the road, I'll be sure to make some more videos for you guys in case you're trying to take a traditional route, trade school or something. So we'll touch again on that down the road in another video. But today I'm here to talk about the junior year of high school, a few things that we need to do to make sure that our kids are successful in their application process to, in college. Okay, let's go. And I want to stress on this, don't wait till senior year. Around this time, I think the kids have already started their month in the semester. Right now, the fall semester, so it's not late, but you need to get moving, right? Plan for your student or students, if you're listening, plan to take the PSAT. I learned that some scholarships are attached to that. PSAT is also called the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. So there's some scholarship, merit-based, that's attached to that. So please take it seriously. And it's also another practice exam to get you ready for your SATs. So take it seriously. Don't take it as I'm just practicing, I want to check it out. Please study for it. Take it seriously. If you need tutoring, go for it. And parents, if you can't afford the tutoring, again, I've in some of my videos I've reminded you that the libraries, most libraries, or even that the schools, speak to guidance, your teachers at school. They'll be able to point you in a direction where you can get some free assistance, free help in preparation for this exam. But please take them seriously. Then engage in your community. If you haven't put in any volunteer hours, we need you out there. I'm a big advocate for volunteering. I kind of take my kids along, in some of my volunteer work. I feel it's important, and as to make our children like well-rounded as well. And this is the reality of life. Like, you're just not gonna go through life as in a little bubble. There's more to life than the daily day-to-day. So we do need to get our kids engaged in our community in terms of volunteering activities. Take them for food pantry, take them to like Ashland Farmers Market. I say the Ashland, I love it. I love our farmers market. But anyways, take them to volunteer at the farmers market in your towns. That's a few. I mean, there are very, very many volunteer activities, volunteer opportunities through your church, through the schools. Speak to guidance again. I know in my town they had forms that the kids can get, and they'll have them sign them off. And I'll say, if your kids were Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, they really, they can get their volunteer hours that way. I know for my child, my daughter, were able to, get more or different volunteer activities just because she was involved in Girl Scouts. She was able to get through some doors because of that. So take these volunteer activities seriously. First of all, you do need, it's a requirement in most schools, but also it's a good lesson for our children. So please take it seriously, and also giving back to your community. I'm sure each one of you out there has been helped in one way or another. You've hit some roadblocks and somebody has given you their time. So I feel like this is the right thing to do. Okay. I'll just move on from that. Next thing, high school application. Well, to just add on to the next, for what I just spoke about in getting your kids involved, come to the application process. Guess what? There's some questions on there for that, specifically for that, asking you what your kid has done, what, have you been engaged in your community, what else have you done. It doesn't matter whether you're straight A student. They do need to check. The schools need to know that you're a well-rounded, person, and so you don't want to be, I'm one student. I have my A's or average, and then I have all this volunteer time giving back to my community, and your application is right next to mine, and you have your straight A's or average, whatever grades you have, but then you have nothing, blank. Have you done this? Have you, what clubs have you been in? What things have you been involved in apart from academics? Zero. This will, might not open some doors, might just be closed to you because of that. And there's really no need for it. Our kids, we love you, but you love your video games, you love your iPads, you love all of this, but please take time to just go out there and volunteer, find out from your guidance, let your parents know how they can help you if you need a ride, if you need a few dollars to get here and there to volunteer opportunities, do so. Okay, so next we have start taking the honors and advanced classes, and again from the PSATs and some exams like that, the guidance or your the teacher at school might see the scores and kind of recommend you for these classes, which is a very good thing as well. So when you take some of these honor classes and AP classes, you might not need to repeat some of these classes in college. And also when you take your placement test, you're gonna score higher in college. And what does it do? If there's English 101, 102, and so on. So the higher you score, the less classes you're gonna take. And guess what? The less classes you take, the less money you gotta pay for college. So please take these things seriously, parents. Take these things seriously. And again, if you don't have the information, if you don't know where to start, if you just watching my video and this is the first information you heard about PSATs, excuse me, and all these AP and honor classes, you'd have no idea. Don't get overwhelmed. Have a conversation with your student, with your child, and also make an appointment with guidance right away, and just have these questions. What is this? Where can we start? How is my kid doing? These are questions you should have already known in terms of how is your kid, the progress of your child in school. But if you don't know, or if you've not been following up thinking that your kid can do it alone, please get involved. This third year of school, junior year of high school is very important. A good number of colleges look at these grades that they get in third year. They do look at these grades, they consider them. And there's one school that actually put it in writing for us that like your daughter is admitted, but she did early decision, and we'll talk about that later, about early decision and all, but they did put in fine print there that she needs to maintain her grades, and if she keeps up whatever she's doing, she's definitely have a spot in our school. She has a spot in our school. So junior year grades are that much important. Then what else? Start visiting college. I found it fun, but also I was, a lot of things I didn't know. So because of COVID right now, it's a little difficult. Some schools are doing, they're doing it online. So go ahead and do that. Register to do that. Ask questions. But also, if you have an opportunity to go visit the school, I would recommend you guys doing that, because there's one school my daughter and I like. Looking on paper, things looked great. Then visiting the campus and engaging, it wasn't that. She just felt like it's not a place for her. After we did a few more visits in other schools. And then you might find that another school, you really like it, you like the people, you like the campus, and then another school accepts you, and you're like, then now you have to narrow down to what's really important to you. And that's also another decision down the road. But first of all, get into visiting the colleges. And to that, I'll just add right away, there's something called points of contact. I should say is the more you contact this school, we have to remember that schools are, they're also businesses. They gotta make money. So if 2 students have applied, right, to this school, but one student just went to visit, and another one not only visited, but also sent a message to admissions, asking questions. Don't just send random just for the sake to check off, how much you've been contacting the schools. Like, no, it needs to make sense. But if your kid is in sports, I want to say, don't quote me on that, but I think they don't allow coaches or something to check in with the kids when they're in like freshman or something year. But if your child is in sports, you might want to send an email to some of the schools that your kid is interested in, or you as a family is interested in. Send them an email to the coach, and invite them to come over for, send them the game schedule. Like our family is a big lacrosse family, so send out the email to the lacrosse coaches at the colleges that you're interested in. And does your child want to do D1? Do they want D3, D1, D2? Make all, talk about these things. And also, because when they come visit and see your child and they're really excelling and they like them, they might be on the short list. You kind of want your kid to be on the short list, right? It's an advantage. And then also, what's the other thing? So what else can you do? Like, the more you contact the school, like, you show them that you're interested in the school. Ask questions. If you know the major your kid wants to do, it's also not a bad idea to reach out to the that department and ask questions. I mean, that's again shows that you're interested in the school. And so now when they come down to the decision time, they're looking at me who applied, who's interested in the school, applied, just went to visit once, didn't research, didn't do any more research, only one point of contact. This other student has like 7 or 5 points of contact. Which means this shows to them that their chances of this student choosing their school are more. So it creates a mutually, it shows that both parties are mutually interested in each other. So their chances are that this kid might get offered a place in the school than myself, who just went once. So again, if you need more explanation on that, leave me a comment and all on the bottom, and I'll be happy to explain that again. Then another thing we have to keep in mind with our juniors is that it's a busy year, and on top of that, there's a backdrop of they're growing, their hormones, and there are things going on. They have different stressors as well. They're learning how to drive. They just turned 16, all of that. They're trying to find themselves. So we have to be mindful of that, as well as we trying to help them navigate this college application process and their high school years. And then on the other hand, where is the balance to make sure they're also enjoying themselves? Like I always tell my kids, like you guys hear this all the time, like work hard, play harder. I'm a big thing of that. Work hard, put in your time, get your grades in, sports, extracurriculars, but enjoy school, enjoy your time in school. I try to make sure I tell them that. So schedules will be busy, but extracurricular activities are very important. If your kid hasn't done anything, some of the parents I've spoken to, they like, Maggie, my kid we're not a sports family at all. What else can we do? Music, do they play an instrument? Can they get into leadership at school? Volunteering. There's a number of things kids can do, and ask them what do they enjoy. And as a parent, as our kids grow, don't wait until they're teenagers to find out what their passion is. You should be watching out for that as a parent. But again, if you've missed it, don't feel bad. Let this video help you out. Start somewhere. It's better late than never. So find out what their passion is. See who in school you can contact to get that going as soon as possible. And we have to remember that this year, I did speak earlier that this year we have to be they're going to be taking those advanced classes, so they're going to be busy. They're going to be busy for sure. So that finding a balance might be difficult, but it still can be done. Extracurricular activities, their sports can be squeezed in, can be done, but you have to be there to support them. And of course, like I always say, check in with your kids. How was your day? I can't stress that enough. Another thing we talked about is standardized. I did speak about standardized exams. Study for those. SATs come up. They do have chances to do them. We can talk about this down the road again. But these scores are used to qualify our kids for scholarships. So they're important. And I'll tell you that there's some scholarships. There's one scholarship I didn't know about. I found out after they sent it to us, and they're like, your kid probably qualifies, but then the requirements were they had to have advanced classes, like AP classes, in at least 2, and they must have scored a certain, they must have had a certain score in the SATs or ACT or whatever, and they must. What else do they have? They have in terms of extracurriculars, and so be sure to speak to your guidance, because some of the requirements we kind of almost didn't qualify for it. So be mindful of things like that. Sometimes you find out in senior year and it's too late. Your kid can't catch up, and they're missing out on money, whether you're rich or not, whether we're wealthy or not. There's money there that's merit, merit scholarship, and this could be, in sports or different activities or their talents, and also academics. So please take advantage of that. I would advise you to do that. And I keep saying again, we work so hard as parents, but on the other hand, are we doing it? I don't want to say wrong, but are we doing it the right way? Could you spare a few hours of work, or maybe work longer hours and try to figure out and be there for your child? Go watch them play a game. It's good for them. How do you feel like when somebody comes and watches you play a sport? I remember when I was younger, it feels good, and it motivates them to want to work harder. So please try to take time to go watch your kids' sports, and some things are happening to them at school and you have no idea. We'll talk about the discipline and all down the road, like some of the things you need to watch out for your kids in the school system. And then if you have already too. If you haven't already, I repeat this one, if you haven't already connected with your guidance, go ahead and make that connection. These guys are resourceful. Like I can't stress enough. Before I didn't know about that either. I used to be like wondering YouTube and Google and all that, but it's not enough. These guys know the schools, and you tell them what your child might wants to do, and they'll be able to guide you. They'll be able to tell you some information, more information that you wouldn't know in depth, that you wouldn't know about the schools that your kid wants to apply to. So take advantage of that. If you're working, again, I don't want to hear it, guys, that you're working 80 hours, double shifts, and all this 9 to 5 by the time you're done. The schools are closed. Guess what? We all get a lunch break. So that lunch break, I'm sorry to tell you, we have to be there for our kids. Break it in half, those 15 minutes, schedule that time for the conference calls and time for the guidance. It's very important for your kids. It's very important for you guys to be supportive. I think we're almost done here. I think the last thing is good grades, maintain them. And also some parents have come to me and like they're telling me that their kids are working. Some kids are, it's tough. Some kids are actually working and trying to support their family, the family at home, help out at home. So that's tough. That's tough on a child. But it's also working is also, give them a sense of responsibility as well. But again, where is the balance here? If your child is in a junior year, as I talked about, it's really important that they only work a few hours and focus on their grades and school. This is important. If you're struggling at home, the kid needs to work, you guys need the financial help. If there's not enough food at home, talk to the social workers in town. They really are resourceful to help you through this time, that way your child has the time to themselves to be a child again, and also to be able to study. Let them work about, I would recommend maybe 8 hours a week, but I mean, you guys can make the decisions for your family. Every family is different. Because again, with the application process, there is actually a space for that, like whether your kid has worked. And when they're writing their essays, they're going to have more things to talk about, okay? So which sets them apart, creates a gap from those parents and kids who haven't put in time, and you who has put in time for your child. So please, I think that's it. So work-life balance, that's important. We spoke about that. And I think we talked about everything. I did summarize tutoring. I know most of the things that came up. Mostly parents say we don't have time, we're tired, we're working long hours, we don't know who to contact. Please just call the school and say I would like to speak to guidance, or find out what classes your kid is taking, and if they're getting 90s in some class, should they be put in the next level up? Okay, so make sure, be mindful of that as well. Your kid might be bored in class and you don't know it. Okay, so just check on that, but you won't find out unless you get involved in your child's life and academics. So there are levels in some classes, so your kid might be bored, knows everything that's going on in that level of math or English class, but you won't find out unless you check in with guidance or look at your kids' grades and see how they're progressing. Talk to your child. How is school? How are things going? Do you need help? And if you feel like they're doing really well, and ask the school, like, what's the next level up? I want my child to be, challenged a little bit more. Okay, you are your child's advocate, but I also feel like it's a team. Working as a team in school is great. Collaborating with the teachers. It helps our children in the long run. Okay, thank you. So that's it for our junior year high school session. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out, put in the comments. I'll be looking out for them, and I'll kind of make more videos we'll do the research for you guys. Again, thank you. Bye. Stay safe, everyone.